Hello and welcome to today's episode of Split View. It is August 17th, 2021. It's another Tuesday, which means we are here with you again. And the aforementioned Kramer sitting across from me.
It's Josh.
And that was a new intro we finally got done, just about 3 weeks late. We've been saying we were going to get that done for a while, but we finally did it.
I know.
And it sounds great.
Yeah, it does. Hopefully my mic levels are at better volume, so I'm not overpowering everyone.
No, you're not bad at all right now. Actually, you're still in the green.
Cool.
But anyway, we do this thing every week. Wow. We do this thing every week, as it was mentioned, and we also like to check in every week. So, Josh, man, how has your week been?
Pretty good. Weekend was pretty quiet. Nothing really happened on Friday the 13th. Because we talked about that a little bit last week. I know that.
So was it a pretty boring day otherwise?
Yeah.
Pretty normal, typical?
Yeah, I wish something had happened because I find myself to be a little bit superstitious. So.
I like the idea of superstition, like I want it to be true, but the rational side of me realizes that it's not, you know?
Yeah, I will say that sometimes when I'm driving by cemetery, there we go. Sometimes my brain goes, or my mouth goes faster than my brain, you know?
Oh yeah, that happens quite often.
But I do the superstition where you hold your breath. It is pouring.
Yeah, I just realized that too. I can hear it over my headphones, so it's really got to be pouring out there. So if you're out there driving in the Valley View area, definitely be careful. But the idea for this week, and my week, before I even get into this, my week was just more of the same, man. I played way too much. Well, I guess there's never too much, but I played a lot of guitar over the weekend, and...
You and I should get together and play some guitar, because I used to take lessons.
Yeah, I downloaded an app that has unlimited lessons about a year ago, and I've been loving it ever since. That's usually what I do on my days off, just guitar and social media stuff for the brand and all that.
Yeah. So when you play guitar, so you said you've been playing for over a year, you said, correct?
I've been doing lessons for over a year. My dad played in a bar band when I was growing up. He's a musician, part of what he did to earn a living. And he taught me rhythm guitar real young so that he could practice with me.
Rhythm guitar?
Yeah, just real basic chords and playing the rhythm. But yeah, now I'm learning more melody and lead and stuff like that.
Do you think you're eventually going to learn full songs?
Oh, I'm past that. I mean, I've definitely learned whole songs.
So, do you try to memorize the whole song, or are you just more of a sheet music kind of guy?
I do not read sheet music. So I try to memorize the song. The only time I'll switch it around is maybe if I'm in the middle of a lead, I might switch it up a little bit if I like something better. But yeah, for the most part, I've always learned by ear.
Yeah, so I took guitar lessons for a while at Modern Music with my old guitar teacher, Jeff Nagel, great guy, but he moved to Seattle, and then I ended up taking lessons from another great guitar teacher, Joe Parker. Now he's doing Broadway musicals and stuff. Well, he was also doing that while I was taking lessons from him. I actually saw him a couple of times in the pit at Playhouse. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of good stuff, but I don't know if it's what it was, but I just never memorized a full song. I've memorized bits and pieces. If you gave me a guitar right now, I could whip out the Iron Man famous part.
Oh, I think everybody knows that though.
And I can do Smoke on the Water with my eyes closed. But
looking back, one thing I definitely would have done different is I would have started doing lessons a lot younger. It seems like the younger kids pick that stuff up, the better they eventually get.
Yeah. I would agree.
And if anybody who has a kid, I got a grandkid on the way. He's actually due pretty soon now.
Oh, congratulations.
About a month. But yeah, anybody that as young is definitely get them into music young. I wish I would have started playing really young because maybe I wouldn't have to work nowadays. And speaking of people who don't have to work, after we sum up our week every week we like to jump into a little bit of trivia. And the
Right.
main reason I do this is because I like to call it Explore Josh's Head.
Yeah, I've given you riddles in the past, but
Yeah, mostly though, it's been the other way around. And what I went for this week,
hey, I did get you on pretty much every riddle.
oh no, I'm just saying that normally it's me quizzing you.
Oh, I know.
But this week I figured I would go with some popular TV trivia. So when it comes to like what would be considered popular TV, shows that are hyped up, that are like all over social media, do you watch a lot of that kind of stuff?
I watch Stranger Things, not as consistently as I would like to. I watch Food Network shows a lot. Like, I just watched the new show Ben and Jerry's Clash of the Cones last night. But,
There is actually a Stranger Things question in here, so
oh,
you better get that one.
yeah, I'm almost done with season 3.
It's a season 3 question.
Oh,
no
geez.
joke, it actually says season 3.
Okay. I'll have to remember. So, let's see how I do with this.
Yeah, most of these are shows I know pretty well like the back of my hand, and I think most people who are more traditional TV viewers would as well. So I was curious to see where your mind goes with some of this, and jumping right into it. First question, what is the longest running animated television show in the United States?
Longest running.
The longest running cartoon in the United States. We're not considering crazy German cartoons. It's all U.S. cartoons.
Out of all countries, why do you put Germany?
They make some crazy cartoons. You ever watch a German cartoon?
You ever watch Japanese anime?
I have.
Exactly.
Well, back to the question.
Okay. Longest running animated show in the U.S. Well, this is a tough one.
It's really not. I feel like almost everybody else knows this.
I don't think it's not SpongeBob because I feel like that's
No, definitely not.
no.
You got to think like adult animation, something that adults like to watch as well as kids.
Okay, then it's not Family Guy.
It's like Family Guy, it's not Family Guy though.
Like Family Guy. Simpsons.
It is Ding Ding Ding. It only took you like 3 times to get but it is The Simpsons. Yeah, that's been around since the first episode of The Simpsons actually came out. Like the first network episode came out a couple months after I was born.
Oh.
So like we're actually the same age. I'm 32. The Simpsons were 32.
James, who sometimes comes in with us, is a huge Simpsons fan.
I kind of want to do like a Simpsons podcast, but
You should.
there's a lot to do. So speaking of
Simpsons gang.
Simpsons, what TV show was it that aired, and this was not The Simpsons, aired the first interracial kiss in the United States?
First interracial kiss.
Yeah. This would have been a big deal, back in the 50s and 60s. They just didn't do it. You would not see a white man and a black woman kissing, and I'll go ahead and give you the hint that that's what happened. But yeah, at some point in the 60s, this happened.
Oh, 60s.
So I'll even give you the decade. Yeah, in the 1960s
Oh,
when this
geez.
happened. But it's a show that's still around to this day.
Okay, so it's not That's So Raven. It's shows that similar to Simpsons, similar to Family Guy. Oh my God. Oh, the Cleveland Show.
And it is actually Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was between Uhura and Captain Kirk. And Uhura was with the black lady. Like,
I don't really watch Star Trek.
I don't either, but somehow I know it.
I did not.
Do you ever watch Friends?
I've watched a few episodes. I do Friends Fridays.
Do you know who Courtney Cox is?
She played, which one? She played Monica.
She played Monica. Monica, the actor who played her, was not originally asked to play Monica, though. She was asked to play another character. So there's only like 2 other answers. What other character do you think Courtney Cox was originally asked to play?
So it was either Phoebe or Rachel.
Yep.
Phoebe or Rachel. 50. So I have a 50-50 chance. I'm going to go with Phoebe.
It's actually Rachel.
Oh.
Which I think was a bit of a surprise, because like her whole big deal in the TV show is, she's a blonde, and what's her face? I already forgot. Courtney Cox is very much not a blonde. Okay, jumping to, I'm going to make sure I get this Stranger Things question.
If I don't get this,
Yeah, no, this is up your alley. What's the name of the ice cream parlor Steve and Robin work in
oh my god.
season 3 of Stranger Things?
Oh, this is in the mall. It's early in the season. Holy crap.
That's the other thing. Like, not only do you have to have watched it, you have to be able to quickly recall it.
Right. I can picture the ice cream parlor too, because I remember their outfit, like they have the weird sailor hats. Their uniform is a blue shirt with like red pants. Oh, what is the name of it?
Yeah, we gotta go to a break, so I'm gonna give you about 5 more seconds.
Ugh, this is gonna eat at me, but I do not remember.
It is Scoops Ahoy.
Ugh.
Scoops Ahoy. Alright, we are going to take a break real quick, and when we do breaks on this show, we do not go to commercial like some other annoying radio shows. We actually play you local Cleveland music, so we're going to take a real quick, not commercial break, local music break. It's Scoops Ahoy. You're going to hear from the band Tiny Kingdom doing a song called Dawn. When we come back, we got what is usually crazy U.S. news. There's actually a story from Canada in there this time, though, that shows that Canucks can be crazy as well. And you're going to want to hang around because we got some weird stuff. So we will be
Right back.
Welcome back, Mr. Cotter.
That's like become your tagline on this show.
Yeah, I got a lot of taglines. Technically, that one isn't mine, but I borrowed it.
Yeah, you're borrowing
I'm
it.
borrowing it. Welcome back to Split View. It is a mess. Well, I think it actually just stopped, but it was crazy there for a second.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody who definitely would have been hoping for good weather. You sent me this story over the weekend, Josh.
I did.
A man was charged criminally for flying his helicopter to a Dairy Queen for ice cream cake.
Yes, I saw this story and it just made me laugh, and I'm like, we have to talk about this on this show.
When I first saw this, I figured for sure this was in America, but no, it is in Canada. Saskatchewan.
Yes, that's Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. The helicopter landed directly outside of a Dairy Queen, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police ended up charging him with making an illegal landing. So he's gonna, I don't know what kind of a serious level of charge that is. I wouldn't think it was a big deal, but then on the other side of that is with it being a plane, maybe it is. I think he'll definitely lose his license.
Yeah. The pilot reportedly dropped off a passenger who picked up his ice cream cake.
Wait, he did what now?
The pilot reportedly dropped off a passenger who picked up his ice cream cake.
Oh, so I thought like the guy driving the plane actually got out and got the cake, so no, it was his passenger.
Yes. While the pilot was licensed, he was charged on Wednesday, August 4th for illegally landing the helicopter in an undesignated zone for an emergency purpose. His charge includes 1 count of dangerous operation of an aircraft according to Section 320.131A of Canada's Criminal Code, the RCMP report.
The best part of this story is later on down, it says that the mayor of the town where this was in, Tisdale, actually ended up telling CBS that he was driving next to the ice cream shop while it was happening. And he first assumed that it must have been an air ambulance, but then he was shocked when he saw a woman leave the helicopter, so it was actually a woman who got out as a passenger, crossed the street in front of him, and entered the Dairy Queen. He said after that he thought somebody must be hungry, but that's probably not a better or such a good idea.
So I'm looking at this story on Yahoo, but it's originally from Fox News, and the last paragraph says, This isn't the first food-related helicopter incident to happen in 2021 either. A pilot in the UK was highly criticized by social media users in March for making an 80-mile round trip to pick up a sandwich, which led authorities to investigate whether the trip went against the country's travel guidelines that urged residents to avoid non-essential travel, according to BBC News.
You know, I think like everything else, this has got to come down to the pandemic and people just being bored out of their minds. Because you know that was a stupid idea. Like, I don't think anybody would go into, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody would go into that thinking like, oh, I'll get away with this.
Maybe some people think that way.
What is the craziest thing you've ever done for a food craving? Like, have you ever been like, I don't care what time it is, I want this right now, I'm going to get it?
Oh man, I'd have to think about that one. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
The only thing I could picture was, you ever see Harold and Kumar?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured it was kind of like them. They had to get to White Castle.
Except I don't think of Harold and Kumar when I hear White Castle. I think of my favorite TV show of all time, The Impractical Jokers.
Why does that connect with White Castle?
Because they've done a lot of challenges and they get a really good punishment at White Castle.
All I know is that I thought I would hate White Castle for the longest time, hearing people describe it, and then when I actually tried it, that's my new favorite place.
Huh.
Well, if I had $130,000 that I just happened to randomly find, I would probably use that and buy a lot of White Castle. But there's a dude in South Korea who's going to decide what to buy. There's probably not any White Castle over in South Korea, I'd imagine.
I don't think so.
After police say they are investigating after this man bought a used kimchi fridge, which I'm not exactly sure what a kimchi fridge would be. Like, I know that's like a Korean food, right?
Yeah, I know. Kimchi is like a fermented cabbage that they put like spices and other stuff on to make it taste really good. I've had it before on like sandwiches and stuff.
Well, apparently you need a special fridge for it. But the guy bought a used kimchi fridge online and eventually found $130,000 cash taped to the bottom of it.
What?
Yeah, police on the island said that the man filed a police report saying he was cleaning the recently delivered fridge when he found the cash stash taped to the bottom of the appliance. Investigators said they are currently working to identify the online seller of their refrigerator and are talking to the people who are involved in its transportation.
Okay, if you were the guy who found the $130,000, would you have told the police, or would you have just said, screw it, I'm keeping the money for myself?
That is my money now. And that was exactly what I was thinking when I read that. Was I don't know what he's doing. I guess like the thought behind it would be, well, I don't want to get in trouble, so maybe if I go turn this in, there'll be a reward or something, and then I can have that money and enjoy it. But $130,000, somebody taped it to this fridge. It was their fault. They messed up. I didn't mess up.
Right.
That's my money now.
Like, why would you even tape $130,000 to a fridge? That makes no sense.
I don't know, but well, apparently it's a thing in Korea, because this article towards the end of it said that a 2016 report in the Korea Times said that there's a trend over there of people keeping their money stored in kimchi fridges amid them not trusting the banks in South Korea.
Huh.
So they don't trust the bank. Apparently they figured out, I don't know how they figured this out. It must have involved a lot of testing, but they said an average kimchi fridge can hold up to $900,000 in cash.
Really?
So somebody had to have actually tried that. Have you ever found money?
I think so.
I remember one time I was living with my dad. I was like 18, 19, and I needed a place to stay for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I was walking out to my car at like 6 in the morning, and there was just a $20 bill laying there. It's the only time I've ever found money, but I was very happy. It felt like I was kissed on the head by fate that day. And I definitely could not turn it into anybody. I took it, and I was $20 richer.
Yeah.
Anyway, I always think it's fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
I think it's fun when you see like some of the crazy stuff people find and stuff too. You think when you're selling something, I just don't understand like how you would end up strapping that much money under a fridge and not realizing where that fridge is going. Once I've strapped, over $100,000 to the bottom of a fridge, that fridge isn't leaving my sight.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like, well, first of all, why are you taking that much money to a refrigerator in the first place? That makes that's what's boggling my mind about this story is, like, maybe it is a ritual, but do you know where this ritual came from?
Apparently from Korea.
Oh, okay.
I accidentally just deleted my last story, I'm not even lying.
Wow.
So now I gotta look it up again, but it was another Guinness World Record is what it was, and we talked about a few of those last week.
You are finding a lot of these Guinness Book World Records.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that, like, all of these are getting set off all of a sudden. This one involved toilet paper, as a man balanced 101 toilet paper rolls on his head for the latest Guinness World Record to be broken. Yeah, 101 toilet papers on a single roll placed on his forehead. So, okay, but stacking up, my understanding of what they're saying is they stack up 101 rolls.
So was it like the Face the Cookie game where it's like you tilt your head back and it goes up like that?
The record breaker had to get 101 rolls in place on top of his head and balance it on his head for enough time for it to officially take the record, which was 5 seconds.
How do you even stack up 101 toilet paper rolls on your head?
I would imagine with a very tall ladder.
Yes.
And like, anybody coughed wrong, that could have been all bad.
Yeah. But it's like, some of these world records that you see, I'm just like, who in their right mind would actually do that? Like, oh, I don't have really anything good to do today. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stack paper towel rolls, or in this case, toilet paper rolls on my head.
Well, what it is, people just want to be recognized for something, and some people don't really have much talent, so they take what they do have and try to make the best of it. If you were going to try to break a Guinness World Record, do you have any idea what you think you would try?
Ooh. If I were to go try to break a world record,
I think mine would probably involve, like, either guitar broadcasting, so it'd be something like longest time holding a guitar, or maybe the longest live broadcast, which I actually looked up. It was 48 hours, so I'd have to go over 2 days straight on the radio.
I think the one I would go for is fastest time to do the alphabet backwards.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
ZYXWBUT,
Well, holy crap. On that note, we're going to take another quick local music break. That was amazing.
Thank you.
When we come back, we're going to get back into some local news. And speaking of toilet paper, an Ohio-based business service company is looking for America's best restroom. Do you think you could win this, Josh?
No.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about that when we come back. And we also have a beauty store owner who was assaulted in Cleveland. And PETA has made an interesting petition to the Cleveland Indians.
Or Cleveland Guardians.
Or Cleveland Guardians, whichever you prefer. I feel like they're still the Indians technically until the end of this season, but whichever you prefer. And we will do another local music break real quick with the big news by Kingston Weekend, and we will be right back. Welcome back,
Mr. Cotter.
I was just going to say friends, but I guess if you want to go that direction with it, I don't know who would say something like that.
I don't know either.
Crazy.
What a concept.
How do you think Mr. Cotter's bathroom is?
I would think it's pretty nice.
Probably got to be pretty clean. It's at a school. Well, an Ohio-based business service company is asking that question, as they're asking the public to choose between 10 finalists for the title of America's Best Restroom. We are back with Split View, and this is your local news. We do this show out of Cleveland. By the way, real quick, if you ever want to email the show, splitview216@gmail.com. But yeah, I found this, and the cities announced the 10 public laboratories chose. Syntez, which must be the name of the company, Syntez, announced the 10 public laboratories chosen as finalists, and they were selected on criteria including hygiene and aesthetics. The marketing manager who kind of spearheaded this said the public's expecting a higher hygiene standard in public restrooms, I would assume because of the pandemic, and we're proud to spotlight these unique restrooms that are well maintained without sacrificing aesthetic quality. Yeah, that's a lot of words.
Yeah, that is a lot of words.
Syntez is inviting the public to vote on the finalists on the contest website, which is www.bestrestroom.com/vote. bestrestroom.com/vote.
I think I will go onto that website after the show just to see what bathrooms are up for the vote.
I got the finalists right here.
Yes, but I bet on the website they actually have pictures, so I want to go on the website to see the pictures and maybe I'll vote.
Well, voting is open through August 20th, and the finalists currently are the Core 25 Gym in Greenville, South Carolina, the Fancy Plush Portable Toilet in Santa Rosa, California, JFK Airport Terminal 4 in New York, Nan's Thai Fine Dining in Atlanta, the Planet World Museum in Washington, D.C., the Pump House in Kannapolis, North Connecticut, the Fed Community Restaurant in Clarkston, Michigan, and then the one actual Ohio representative on here, Two Cities Pizza in Cincinnati, and last but not least, the restroom at William S. Craycraft Park in Mission Valley, California. A lot of California ones on there. California must their bathrooms nice.
Yeah.
Most of like the parks around here in Ohio, but disgusting bathrooms.
Yeah. A lot of the bathrooms in parks and stuff seem to be porta potties.
Yeah, pretty much.
Porta potties are gross.
Yeah. Have you do you have like a private bathroom or you share a bathroom?
In my old house, I used to share a bathroom with my sister, but since we moved into the new one, I have my own.
When you shared it with your sister, did she have a lot of beauty products all around?
Yes.
Even the women who don't like really do a lot of makeup seem to have a decent amount.
Yeah, she had like at least three or four bottles of shampoo, and I'm like, look at me. I have one bottle that's a combined shampoo and body wash. I'm good.
Yeah, women are always confused by like how we're able. I have definitely the one-on-one, and I'm fine.
Or there's like, it's like with women, they need a purse to carry all their stuff, and then for you and I, it's like all we need is a wallet.
Wallet is more than enough. Well, this lady apparently put on quite a bit of makeup, and the place that she bought the makeup from, she ended up getting herself in some trouble. A 25-year-old woman in Cleveland said she attacked two Cleveland store owners, and it was captured on camera. She appeared in Cuyahoga Common Pleas Court Monday after the grand jury indicted her on felony charges for this. She'll be facing felony.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Ebony Abzal, 25, of Cleveland, is charged with felonious assault, which is a second-degree felony, and simple assault, a first-degree misdemeanor. Just for a little bit of, like, reference, a second-degree felony in Ohio is called a felony 2. You can get anywhere from, I think it's 2 to 8 years on a felony 2. So any one felony 2 charge, she's currently looking at 2 to 8 years in prison. 2 will be the minimum. Abzal is accused of attacking an elderly couple at their store, Chic Beauty Supply, and this was on Lorraine Road in Cleveland on July 23rd. Cell phone video was taken by the store owner. You can hear a disagreement between the couple and the woman over what is said to be an $11.85 transaction.
An $11.85 transaction caused that?
Sounds like totally normal, right? That's a good reason to spend 2 years in prison.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Yep, I don't agree with you buying that $11.85 product, so I'm going to go to jail for 3 years.
Well, apparently the way it played out, the couple's son said the woman tried to pay for some items, but her card was declined, and then from there is where things escalated. So basically the lady didn't have the money. The woman started to yell at the two and told them to call the police, which I don't know why. Joe's mother, like, what? You don't have the money.
Yeah.
Products cost a certain amount of money.
Right.
You don't have the money.
Yeah, if you don't have the money, you can't buy that product. That's just how it works. Simple as that.
Cell phone video goes black after the woman lunged at the couple, but surveillance video caught the entire attack on camera. So even though the cell phone did not, surveillance video got her caught. It shows the woman's attack, and then when the mother stepped in to try to break up the fight with the owners, the woman also grabbed her by the hair and drug her across the floor. She was put up on a $75,000 cash bond, but somebody actually did not post that yet. She's still in jail, but if it is posted, so if anybody actually does come up with this money, the only thing she has to follow is no contact with the victims. In the meantime, she has a pre-trial scheduled for August 24th with Judge Russo. And of course, in theory anyways, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty, but that doesn't sound too good.
Right. Well, I wasn't really young when this happened, but we talked about this on So What's the Catch, which is another great show we do every Wednesday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock on All Sports Cleveland.
Together.
Tune into that tomorrow. But, you know the whole O.J. Simpson thing. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yep. That's the truth, but it looks like in this situation it very much fits.
Yeah, I think in this situation I could not agree with you more. And we're supposed to disagree on this show.
Yeah, we're not doing a very good job.
No.
Speaking of not doing a very good job, I feel like PETA's doing a bad job whenever they come up with ideas. Because their newest idea involves a vegan veggie hot dog mascot.
Because for the Indians, what they do, they have the 3 hot dogs that they do, the hot dog derby.
And that's a classic. And any ballpark pretty much does.
Yeah, like the Brewers do the same type of thing, but instead of hot dogs, it's bratwurst.
Yeah.
But here in Cleveland, it's ketchup, mustard, and onion. Why is there no relish or mayo?
I don't know. Mayonnaise on hot dog? It's a little strange. Mine is mustard and relish. I do mustard relish.
I typically do ketchup and onion. I don't really do mayo on hot dogs, but mayo's not that popular of a condiment, is it?
No, I mean I've heard people like very rarely putting it on. I just never tried it.
I used to dislike mayo, but now I love it. But yeah. PETA's like, hey, can you put a vegetarian hot dog on your mascot Cleveland Guardians or Indians, whatever you want to call them?
Well, and the actual statement that PETA made was just filled with bad jokes. It said, now that you've scored a home run by switching your team's name to the Cleveland Guardians, we have a pitch that we hope you'll embrace as a way to continue that spirit. Will you please add a vegan hot dog to your hot dog derby? If you agree, we'll gladly buy the Veggie Dog costume and Veggie Dog sold in your stadium for all the players. So they said that the reason they're doing this is because Progressive Field made the top 10 vegan-friendly ballpark list in 2019. So that's actually kind of interesting. I wouldn't think that in Cleveland that there would be like a big market for Veggie Dogs.
So it's pretty incredible what some of these ballparks are doing in terms of like food. Like you have actual chefs now running these huge operations at ballparks. Like I would guess at the Kansas City Royal Stadium, Kauffman Stadium, or in the St. Louis Cardinals Stadium, Busch Stadium, you can get some really good barbecue because that's what Kansas City and St. Louis are known for.
I don't remember where they're still doing it, but I know a couple of years ago, one of the ballparks around, they were serving chocolate, like bugs.
Huh.
So it was like a gourmet type deal, but it was Oh man, I'm not good with bugs. It is some kind of bug, that's what it is. But yeah, they were frying bugs. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about some of the food at the ballpark. I haven't been there in a few years, and back when I was going, it was definitely all just hot dogs and the basics. So something I'll have to check out.
Yeah, I've been going to a fair amount of Indian games this season. Only been to night games, which is surprising because
That's your issues with fireworks.
But on August 28th, when the Indians play the Red Sox, that's a 4 o'clock game. So I'm just going to say this right now. For that game, I'm going to try and do full exposure, meaning no earplugs, no headphones, no ducking down, no leaving my seat. I wanted no covering my eyes, no covering my ears. I wanted to stick through the entire day.
And what day do you plan on? What was that date?
August 28th.
All right, you heard it, everybody. We'll have to check in with them afterwards, hold them accountable.
Yes, you will have to hold me accountable. I'm just not ready to do that with nighttime.
That's fine. But in the meantime, people out there listening, if you have any thoughts on that, definitely make sure to send them in an email to splitsview216@gmail.com. We need to take another short music break. We're going to hear from the Howard Brothers doing Everybody Jumping. And when we come back, we will have what is a brand new segment. We've actually done it for a couple of weeks now, but I have a new theme song that I'm kind of excited about. So you didn't get to hear it yet, did you?
No.
So hang around for the other end, and it is conspiracy time here on Split View. Be right back. Right back. Welcome back. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready for this new theme song?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, we have been doing a brand new segment here in the last segment for the past couple of weeks, and without further ado, here she goes.
Why is it called the Kramer File?
I don't know, why not? Do we want your name in there?
I was going to be like, are Diane a part of this?
Yeah, but it's my radio show.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're a good,
Supporting actor.
co-host. Anyways,
All right.
I was just having fun. But you did bring me this story. I will give you credit for that.
Technically, my mom.
Well, yeah, it was your mom's, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it's an interesting story that kind of leads into a crazy conspiracy theory. And if I had to say the overall conspiracy, I'd say it's about QAnon, which a lot of people have heard about. But the story that we have, a California dad actually ended up killing his kids over QAnon and, quote, serpent DNA conspiracy theories, the FBI is now claiming. The guy was a California surfing school owner, not exactly somebody you think would be homicidal. And he was going to be charged with killing his 2 children in Mexico after becoming a longtime follower of this QAnon conspiracy. Said that he thought his children were going to grow into monsters, so he just had to kill them.
You're right. See, the title even says, man says he killed his kids over QAnon conspiracy theories and serpent DNA, fearing they become monsters.
Yeah, the wife, who was identified only by her initials, contacted the Santa Barbara police after her husband had taken the kids out on Saturday. She didn't say where they were going. She grew concerned after he failed to respond to messages, eventually ended up filing a missing persons report, at which point the officer asked her to use an Apple app called Find My iPhone. And that program showed that the last location was in Rosarito, Mexico, so that actually came in handy.
So I'm actually reading part of the article about this story from CBS News, and it says, Coleman confessed to the FBI during an interview that he took his 2-year-old son and 10-month-old daughter to Rosarito, Mexico, where shot a spear fishing gun into their chest, according to I have no idea how you say this word, affidavit?
Oh, an affidavit.
Yeah, affidavit, filed by an FBI agent with the criminal complaint.
Yeah, he will be held without bond now. That was ordered by the judge just on this last Wednesday. He's going to be scheduled for his arraignment on August 31st. The serpent DNA whole reference that he made is apparently a reference to the lizard people conspiracy.
Oh, the reptilian.
Yep, which falsely reports that reptilian aliens secretly run the world and have taken over important position in government.
Wow.
The believers in these conspiracy theories have melded this together into what also kind of goes with the QAnon conspiracy too, which QAnon's a more recent conspiracy, which is the belief that a global cabal, kind of like the lizard people, at the top of the U.S. government is secretly murdering and eating children, and that Donald Trump was quietly working to defeat them during his time in office.
Yeah, QAnon became a big thing in the news during Trump's time in office and during the most recent election. And I actually took a class about conspiracy theories, secret societies, and cults. So I learned a lot about these types of things, and I would say the reptilians aren't really a conspiracy theory. They're more of a secret society.
Oh, it's a conspiracy theory, though. I mean, because do you think that reptilian people are real?
No.
Well, that's conspiracy theory.
It's
It's a conspiracy theory about a secret society.
Yes, but there's a whole following behind it. People actually believe that it's true that there are reptilian people, or that you will become a lizard.
But the same could be said of any conspiracy theory, can't it? I mean, people believe the moon.
Right, but is there a secret society about the moon landing conspiracy theory?
Probably. There's probably a group out there. I bet money on it. People make groups out of funny things.
Yeah, but so by that logic, would you say Scientology is a conspiracy
Oh, definitely.
theory?
Definitely.
Okay.
Anyways, the whole thing with this, it actually, the QAnon thing was going on before Trump. But Trump came into office and he really latched onto it. He realized that he could get these people to vote for him, so he kind of started doing silly little nods, doing the things that showed them, oh, I support you.
Weren't the January 6th riots a big connection was made between that and QAnon?
Yeah, when Trump lost the election, and he kind of set this up by saying months ahead, if I lose this election, it's because it was stolen. So everybody was already waiting for this. So when they lost the election, everybody was just, in the QAnon movement who supported Trump, started saying, oh, well, he was cheated. He must have been cheated. And then they started making up conspiracies. Oh, it's because the Dominion voting machine all made Biden votes into Trump votes.
Or that they intentionally threw away ballots.
Yeah, it was another one. No proof of any of that, but that was a big deal. And then they used that as a reason to go and protest, and QAnon was the biggest group there. QAnon and Pride Boys were the two that brought the biggest groups to the January 6th rally that turned into a riot.
Right. I still can't believe, I remember one of the people that was part of the January 6th riots just dressed as this weird Viking character.
Oh, the QAnon shaman, they call him. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, they call him the QAnon shaman. And that guy has actually since then totally went the other way. Says he takes it all back. He doesn't want to be associated with QAnon anymore.
Oh my.
He doesn't want people to think he's crazy. He's done. So I guess just getting pictures of him, that was enough.
Wow. Just some of the images from that day are just
crazy.
appalling.
It was crazy, and it's even worse that nobody's really been held accountable.
Right. And I don't really want to state my political opinion.
And you don't have to. I think no matter whether you're conservative or liberal, you're on either side of this, you have to understand people like this are crazy.
Right. All I will say is, again, I'm holding my political opinion about whether I like Trump or whether I dislike Trump to myself, because I don't think that's important, but I'm shocked that he got impeached, but he didn't get convicted as a result of that.
Well, the same thing actually happened with this before your time, but the same thing happened with Bill Clinton.
Yeah. I can actually do a good impression of him with that famous line, but I don't know that.
It's not exactly radio appropriate.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hold that to myself, but I can do that for you if you want after the show. I mean the impression.
On a final thought about this, somebody in high school that I was really good friends with, he was pretty much like a liberal dude. I actually went with him in 2008. Me and this buddy, we went together to vote for Barack Obama. He fell into this QAnon crap, and the reason was he had kids and started believing in all this evil stuff that's happening to children. And now he will no longer talk to me. He blocks me on Facebook. This kind of thing can take people and just totally change them.
Oh, I could not agree with you more on that one.
And I think that's what's scariest about it.
It's like a whole brainwashing thing. Trump created a whole cult, essentially.
And the one thing I would say is different from this and other conspiracy theories we've talked about so far is I think this one's a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, because this one's a lot more real.
And nobody's going to riot at the White House over, we don't think the moon landing is real.
Right.
That's only going to happen over some stuff like this.
Right. Although, it could, somebody will do something that says, let's go riot at NASA because we don't think the moon landing actually happened.
I mean, you never know. Now that that's something that's happened, you never know who's going to do it now.
I hope with me saying that, I didn't just inspire someone to go do that.
Oh yeah, because if they do that, I'm going to get that clip and I'm going to record it and just play it back constantly.
And I'll go over to that specific corner where my backpack is right now.
All right.
Curl up in a ball and just start crying.
All right, we will remember all that. That's been it for this week. That's a good image in your head. So with Josh called up in the corner crying. We do this thing every Tuesday, like he said, the opener, and we'll be back next week to do more split views. You got anything else, Josh?
If the weather is still bad, drive safe.
Yeah, definitely drive safe. And if you are looking for something to do tomorrow around 2 o'clock, come listen to our sports show on All Sports Cleveland called So What's the Catch. No matter what, make sure you're back here with us at the same time next week. And make sure you are on our Facebook. Keyword SplitView216. You're going to want to make sure you have that saved because that's where all our videos go, as well as our YouTubes. Mine is Kramer Radio and Production. His is Unker to the Mag.
You got it.
Subscribe to both, and we will see you next week.
We are out.